I had to at least prove myself equal physically. It even came to boxing matches sometimes, you know, and but I have to say, to qualify that, though, that if I was in a punch-up at school or anything, which did happen quite regularly, then, well, I can remember about 4 or 5 times, there was always one person that would be guaranteed to be on my side, just for those few moments, and that was my brother.
So blood was thicker than water.
Yeah, yeah, but it was underlying current was always there.
But you were conscious of the rivalry.
Yeah, very much.
And the rivalry also extended to, even you say, to fisticuffs on occasions.
Yeah, it did, yeah. Oh, yeah.
Who
was
were you?
A constant wrestling, but then it got sort of official a couple of times, and it was boxing gloves and the whole thing.
What did you tend to argue about most? What kind of things?
I think we were just arguing about the way we just thought about things, and like I could see things that he did wrong, and there was a lot of jealousy, I think, and a lot of guilt at the same time.
Guilt?
Yeah, a lot of guilt from because there was guilt around. If somebody is jealous of you, you feel that guilt. You want to keep that guilt.
What were you both doing, fighting for the kind of affection of your parents? Were you both trying to prove yourself in front of your mother and fathers?
I think we were trying to prove as personalities. I'm not sure about that, whether we were trying to prove ourselves in front of our mother and father, but I think we were trying to prove ourselves as people in the world.
Sister nodded, shook her head. Why were you shaking your head then?
Right.
No.
Were you
I don't
conscious
think
of them?
they were trying to prove themselves to our parents. I'm sure that's not the case.
I
think it's as Justin said. They were trying to prove themselves as their own personality. Because they were both very strong personalities.
Were you conscious of the rivalries between them?
No, not all the time at all, no. I was saying earlier to Justin, I never really
There's an
saw them
underlying
arguing at all. There was sometimes, you know, an atmosphere when I walked into the room. But I never saw.
But it was more than just a difference between people who might have a squabble or an argument, Justin, about something. You were conscious that it was
an underlying thing that was always there, and I think you would. It's of course tempered with love and lots of love and affection, but it was always there, and it went right the way through. You see, I found what I wanted to do in life very early, and I don't think my brother took a long time to find that, so there was always that sort of, well, he's got it and I haven't, and it goes right from toys, you know what, like with toys, you know, brothers, he's got it and I haven't.
What was the difference between your ages?
18 months.
Oh, 18, yeah, but I was thinking if you get that close, there's
just
more rivalry if you're that close together than if there's a big gap, you know, because I've got my 2 boys, I mean, there's a 7-year-old gap between them, there was no rivalry at all.
Was there rivalry between you 3?
No. Not really,
You and George Henry?
Well, we used to fight a lot because we're just natural fighters.
We were boxing, we were fighting all the time. Yeah.
But no, there was a pecking order, see, because Byrne was 4 years older than us, and we accepted that he was our older brother, so...
Could he fight better?
No, well, he could in them days. He sit on our back and give us a right belt on our back. But see, there was a pecking order, I mean, and he was out, because I can remember Mum used to give us a penny, didn't she?
That's right,
and the old penny, he used to take us down the sweet shop, he used to get 5 toffees for an halfpenny, and me and George used to have a farthing, and we used to get a farthing gollywog, which is true. And we used to get annoyed because he had 5 toffees, we only had this one bit of gollywog.
What kind of things did you fight over, you two?
The gollywog.
The gollywog. What about you two, George?
We never really... No, we never...
Did you have the kind of rivalry?
No.
Not that
I can't understand.
understand.
I mean, I can't understand that sort of rivalry between brothers. We never had it, even with Bernard. Like, you know, I mean, I don't know, I think maybe circumstances were different. I mean, we only had our mum mainly during the war. I mean, my dad was in the army for all the war, so the first sort of then up to the age of 10, we never see our dad a great deal.
I feel better for it. I think it made
what
me
it made you,
a tougher person, and I made me want to go out and get what I really
So
wanted.
you learnt some of the skills that you need in life.
Absolutely.
By having to...
From him.
It's not just boys that fight, is it? It's girls as well. Do you squabble?
Yeah, we're always fighting
Your
and hitting
sisters?
each other. Yeah.
What about?
It just takes the slightest thing, it just really annoys me, and she never respects me or anything like that. So it sounds stupid, but I'm the oldest, and sometimes I try and help her, and she won't listen to what I'm saying, and she don't understand that. As I'm the eldest, I know what I'm talking about, well, most of the time anyway.
No, we just argue over anything at all, and like Mum sort of sticks up for her in a way, sort of they're against me, so I have to argue back with her.
Why do you argue?
Stupid things such as, you know, who's going in the bathroom first, or, you know...
Turn my music down.
Her music.
Yeah, She just anything stupid, like.
Yeah, but she always has the music on really loud, and she's not considerate. Sorry, she's not considerate of anybody but herself.
Do you like her?
No. I'll stick up for her. If somebody hits her, I'll, you know.
How old are you?
I'm
Differences?
16, 18 months difference.
You meant that when you said you didn't like her, didn't you?
Yeah.
Was she your sister?
Yeah, but it don't mean you have to like her. I mean, I'll stick up for her. If somebody hits her.
Why don't you like? Do you know that she doesn't like you?
Yeah, I don't know. She liked me, yeah. No, I do love her, but I just.
You're not making you're serious, aren't you, you two?
Yeah. Yeah, well, we're always arguing.
So this isn't the kind of rivalry that Justin was talking about, or the occasional fighting that Henry and George were. You're actually there's a venom here.
Yeah, because we just don't get on. We're totally opposite people.
Can you understand this, anybody? This kind of rivalry between the families? They were saying yes, they were shaking their head up there. These big families, there's a whole load of you up here, isn't there? All this lot. Do you understand this what's going on here? Can you?
A little bit, yeah. I mean, I'm the youngest, and it was always Big Brother told you what to do, and if you didn't do it, you got a clout sort of thing.
But that wasn't rivalry, or that was arguing.
I can understand the bit where she means rivalry. I mean, me and my sister always used to share in bedrooms, so it was always, I want that bed, I want that.
Yeah.
You know, you do this, you do that. You know, and if I messed her bed up, it was.
But you like her?
Yeah, we get on well. Yeah.
Are you aware of the squabbling? What
Yes,
kind of things do they argue over?
Oh, some stupid little things where I just ended up pulling my hair out half the time with them. But it was mainly silly things like, well, she's got that, that's better than mine. If I happen to spend a little penny or two more on the one than the other,
Is that just kind of normal kids squabbling?
Yes, I think so.
It's no more than that. It's not them arguing. See, Henry said, he used the word pecking order, didn't he? He talked about Bernard, his older brother.
Yeah.
And so they deferred to him in a way, which what Justin was saying about Richard, his older brother, didn't defer to him. He recognised he was older and therefore kind of entitled to some kind of seniority or respect, but fought against. Do you find that happens with your family?
Well, I think I used to put the eldest lad in that position myself. If Dad were out at work and I had a busy day, I used to say, Sean, will you tell them, you know...
Oh, so he's a surrogate father.
I used to push the eldest one into it, because we never had no bother with this one as such, just accidents.
Do you have favourites?
Yes.
You do?
Yes.
Yes,
I've got
All of us.
I love
What'd you
them
say?
all.
We've all got one.
You've all got
We've
one.
all got the favourites. and that's good.
Oh, Kevin.
We all love him.
What? You're saying your son is your favourite?
This one, yeah. He's all our favourite.
What?
I don't know.
Do you mind?
He's easy going. He's really good. I
And you
mean,
don't
you can sit
mind
and
that?
talk to him. I can sit and have a slanging match with him, and it'll still.
Henry doesn't say a word. Is that why they like you, Kevin?
That's why they like him.
Is that what it is?
A sort of neutral person, that's why. You know what I mean?
Whatever you do, whatever you say, you'll just go along with it. Whether he likes it or not, you'll just go along with it.
You're another sister?
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you mind your mother acknowledging that he's her favourite?
Well, why can we mind when we all feel the same?
There's no answer to that. Favourites, on favourites. Parents make... Are you aware? Are you parents?
Well, that didn't happen in our household. We didn't have, to my knowledge, favourites. It never affected me like that. But I've got an older sister and a younger brother. And I agree with Justin, actually, that in a way, I feel you have to compete in order to be the same as your elder, or better.
Why?
Just because you're,
Why aren't we all
you're
one
in the
happy
middle.
family? Which is
know.
what we're supposed... You feel the need to compete.
I think you feel the need to prove yourself that much more because the elder is first, and the first is always looked upon as being the eldest and doing everything first because they are the eldest.
I think it depends on how your parents treat you. If your parents treat you all equal, then nobody's going to feel more important than the other.
Oh yes, I mean we were treated equally, but I think also if you sort of, are you a middle?
No, I'm the eldest.
It's easy for the eldest to say, though, isn't it, David?
No, but I've asked my dad, and he said that he didn't notice there was any real rivalry between us because we were all treated the same, so we never really argued about anything unless we really had to.
I was my mother's favourite and my sister was my father's favourite, and I think at times we were almost competing within the family for attention.
No, I totally disagree. There's 3 of us, another brother, and we don't compete for attention at all. And there isn't any favourites. Mum and Dad love us all exactly the same. Never been any favouritism.
I can't understand a mother. Perhaps I'm wrong, but I can't understand a mother saying that she's got a favourite. I'd like to think that I treat all these the same, and I love them.
I love them. I love them all very, very much. Believe you me, I really do.
You're better.
But with Kevin, I don't know. When Kevin was born, you see, I didn't want Kevin for the first week of his life. Because there's only 13 months difference between Sean and Kevin. So to my mind, he was keeping me in hospital away from my baby. Yeah. But when I came out of hospital, naturally the feeling came for him just like that. Sometimes there's always been that little bit of guilt on my part of feeling that, even now.
But aren't they all special? Aren't they all special in their own special way?
Yes,
and you love them equally for those special needs?
Yes, you love them all, but it's a different love because they're all different.
I'd find that really upsetting if my mum sat here and said that I wasn't the favourite, one of my brothers was the favourite. I'd find that really hard.
No, it's not hard to deal with it at all. I mean, Sean is the eldest, he's always had the authority and things. I mean, you still stick together as a family. I mean, when Sean used to have fights, even though there was only a little dot, I used to try and get in on anything, any family arguments with anybody else outside the family.
I think that's always the case. I think at the end of the day, the families all stick together when there's an outsider involved.
I wouldn't grudge Kevin from being felt as though he was a favourite though, because he's my favourite brother.
Are there others of you that are the parents willing to admit they've got favourites, not another terrible mother? Come on then, tell me all about it.
Well, I think there's no, you as the lady said, you love them all equally, but you love them totally differently. And
well, that's okay. So that's fine. We're all they're all equal, different.
I've only got one son.
Favourite says prefer.
Yeah, I've got one son.
How many daughters you got?
3.
Are they here with you?
No, one is.
One daughter, yeah.
Who does actually feel some rivalry, but he was a favourite probably because he was the only son, but he did have a way of being able to speak to you, and I could never see him doing wrong. I mean, now when I stand away from him and look at him, I could throttle him at times, but definitely as a boy, I could never see him being. No, he was definitely favourite. He still is. I mean, I shouldn't say it.
No, you shouldn't say it. I think it's a terrible thing to say.
No, we was all treated the same. If you'd done something special at school, you got rewarded, or if you'd done something in the family really special, you got rewarded. But with my sister and me, it was like the girl over there. We used to argue over the bedroom. I had to have the window open, so my bed had to be underneath the window. She had to have the door open of the bedroom, so her bed had to be there. And if you crossed over the line in the bedroom, it would be murder. And I mean, I know I'm a favourite anyway to my dad. I always have been. And I only have to think in my head when we used to go and stay there, shall we turn the telly over? And he'd get up and say, Daddy, do it for you. And my sister would just sit there.
Did it worry you when you, like your mother just saying now, she says it quite straightforward, like our friend up there as well, that I can't help, whatever reasons, my son was my favourite. Were you conscious of that? Are you conscious?
No, not really, no.
Did it bother you?
No, because some weeks when Mum went shopping and Alison had gone with her, she never rewarded Alison. She used to buy me the presents, or the next week I would go shopping and David would get the presents. We all seemed to get
Hussein?
Yeah, I was going to say, maybe if you think about this for a minute. When you're first born and you come out, there's something equal about everyone. You're a baby, the mother loves you. But I believe that if you begin to contribute something as you get older, and I think our friends up there, it seems like he contributes a sense of peace. He agrees that everyone follows with everybody. So they enjoy that and they like that. So if you contribute something and you tend to create, maybe not favoritism, but you add something, and as you get older, you begin to contribute maybe more to the family, and so that creates maybe a sense of.
What do you mean by contribute? You mean you don't necessarily mean materially. You mean in bringing something, love into the family, affection, peace, joy, whatever it is.
Yeah, joy, peace, like anything. If there's squabbling, if someone has a bad day. And
did your mother have a favourite? Don't look at your mother.
I don't think she had a chance
Mohammed?
to have a favourite because when we were younger, you know, they travelled a lot, my mother and father. So when they came back, I mean, they just had, you know, they'd be away for a month or 2 months at a time because we lived in the Middle East and they'd be travelling in Europe and the US. So when they'd come back, they'd, you know, need a lot of time to, you know, to get to know us again and see how we're all growing and how we're all...
They're very loyal, your boys, Soraya, aren't they?
So
or two of your sons. Did you have a favourite?
No.
Not
a favourite in so much as loving. I loved them all equally. I have 5 sons and 4 daughters. But the girls drive me insane. The boys, I don't have to think twice of what I say to them.
So the kind of thing that our friends were just talking about now, I've got a favourite and unashamedly say, that never, with all your sons, you never had one of them that you kind of spoilt or favoured?
No, and people have always asked me, they've always presumed the baby at the time is the favourite. I have a 5-year-old son. It's not true. They're all equal, but in totally different ways.
I've got 2 girls, Robert, and I find that really, having been my mum's favourite and Susan was my dad's favourite, I find that I love my children in the same way.
What's it
They've
like
got
being
good
a favourite?
things.
What's it like being a favourite? What's the feeling
It makes you feel
get?
good.
You're talking about you now,
Yeah.
not Sue and your children. It makes you feel good.
Yeah,
Your esteem goes up.
Yeah, I could go out for a meal with my mother and we'd be friends. We weren't mother-son. We were like friends, and she knew when to talk about something. If I'd had a hard time or whatever, she'd know. She'd have that perception. She'd be able to. Maybe it was based on communications. We had that common interest.
But that must have given you a lot more confidence.
Yes.
I mean, that when you're loved and you're spoilt and you're given more, it gives you more self-esteem, doesn't it? More
That's right.
confidence. Did you? Those of you who are favourites or feel that you're a favourite, know it. Does it help you?
The story we're talking about here, we're seeing a pattern of mother-son, father-daughter, which is very common and a lot of people experience it. You know, obviously she says she doesn't get on with her daughter or doesn't get on with her daughters, but with her sons there's a great understanding. So, I don't know, there must be a pattern here somewhere.
Why do you go on with your dad?
Yeah,
Justin?
very well.
You do?
Yeah.
You're thinking what, the sons, fathers favour daughters and mother favours sons?
I think so, yeah.
Is that what, you're all saying, oh, so you like the person as more... This is a sex thing, is it, Soraya?
It's not Oedipus and electric complex as well, isn't there? In there? Like that.
Oh, don't do the Greek one. We don't want to talk about the Oedipus complex, no.
But that's kind of there, you know, that sex thing between the you've always got, there's the jealousy, isn't there, between a mother and a daughter? I think there is.
I think there's a jealousy between brothers and sisters. That's what I observe. For instance,
I don't know.
Go on, what are you saying?
Especially when you're the firstborn, there exists a lot of jealousy, I think. People tended to tell me that I was the favourite, even though I didn't realise it at the time. Now everybody keeps telling me. But now Joanne tells me that I was the favourite. But it seems I was as a young boy. And now it seems to have levelled out a bit, and now it tends to be the youngest one now is the favourite.
But that was my fault, because I came to a point where I knew that Andrew was being not so much spoiled, but came first, and we would go out.
How did you recognise that point?
Because
you must have done all the time. You're doing it.
Yes, but it wasn't until people didn't point it out, but you suddenly realise that all you ever spoke about or all you ever talked about was Andrew, and then you thought, well, and then somebody would say, well, what's Joanne going to do and what's going on, and then you think, my God, yeah, well, she's going, and now that they're older,
it's a bit of a family joke now, but
yeah, it is a joke, a big joke now.
It wasn't at the time when
it could have
we were
become a
younger.
problem.
It really did go.
He loved it. He absolutely loved it.
It's not a joke, is it, Joanne? No, it isn't a joke.
Probably not, no, because I mean they say you've got a chip on your shoulder, and I knew that.
It was like that wide.
They always just say, "Shut up," you know, you've got a chip on your shoulder. I say number one son, because it was always the same.
That was the family number one.
We'd have a joke, and he'd sort of start a fight, knowing that he'd get away with it with my mum.
Yeah, definitely.
And I'd just be told to shut up because I was wrong. You know,
that's what I mean to that. You see, we'll have an argument, and Mum will come down and she'll say, if I hear your mouth once more, like, because I've got a loud voice, but yeah, that's what she says. I've got a loud voice, but she aggravates. She's quiet and she aggravates me. So it makes me just get really angry and start shouting. And my mum will come down and she'll start, having a go at me, and I'll say, well, it's not just me. And she'll say, Like, and he'll be laughing behind her back and pulling back.
And then I'd be totally left in the background, even though I'd probably have caused it. It was like towards these two.
But it's all right for you. You're smiling. You can make a joke about it because you were sure of your position in the family. Yes, you were safe. You were secure. You knew you got your mother's love, and your mother's always going to love you, whatever you do, isn't she? But what about poor Joanne?
Yeah, but it wasn't just in the family. It was at school as well because he was like the shining star at school as well. He was always
you're another one, are you? The whole family here.
Because when he was, say, third year, he was in the school production, and then when he went further up, my sister was in the school production, and because they'd left, as I went up to the big school, I was actually told I had to be in the school production. I've been in 2 now, and they said, oh, you've got to be like your brother and sister now. You've got to be exactly the same. You've got to follow them up.
Do you think